Have you ever seen those memes online where they're like, clap back Christmas, clap back Thanksgiving? I don't want you beefing and brawling with anyone at these family events. I don't want you having any fights with your friends. I don't want you guys falling out. So, I want to talk to you today about life after therapy. This is a talk that I don't think is being talked about. It's not a conversation being had. And I feel like only people who have gone to therapy are going to actually understand this conversation. But I want to talk about some of the things that exit and enter your life after therapy. And if you're someone who's thinking about going to therapy, you know my answer. I am a huge therapy advocate. I literally stopped my career, not stopped because I still do hair, but I literally put a huge halt on it to go back to school because God directed me to do this. And I feel like this is a way to reach people and just get that healing going. There's too many people walking around hurt. There's too many people walking around like just on like robot mode where it's like just not even thinking about it anymore and just doing, and then you have this crash out and you're yelling and you're crying or you break out in hives or something, or you have a panic attack. Like, we don't want to wait to get to those points of things. So I just want to talk a little bit about life, about therapy, and just go through the list that I created. And I sat down with one of my friends a couple months ago and we talked about it, and she went to therapy too. And I was like, I finally feel like I'm talking to someone normal again. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's a certain level of understanding about life that you get after therapy that you just don't have before. And it's almost like you have something, like you have a tool belt on now where you're like, okay, I can use this tool to communicate. Okay, I can use this tool to analyze this situation. I've kind of always had that brain, and I always was obsessed with like the why of things. But I just want to go through the list. We're going to go through it. We'll go through it slowly. So we'll talk about some of the things that, we're solution based mindset first. So we got to talk about some of the issues that people will have with the new you, and just we're just gonna have a discussion. So I want to start off by talking about friendships. For myself, a lot of my friendships unfortunately shifted, not for the better either after therapy. Like, my life was different. The goals I had for myself shifted as well. I didn't see those people on that path, and it just became difficult to maintain a friendship. Like, the conversations that we would have, I don't want to say didn't serve me, like, serve me, you must serve me, like I'm some queen on a throne. I mean, I kind of am a queen on a throne, but whatever. Okay, no, but like, seriously though, not like I'm some like holier than thou type of person. It's just I didn't relate to it anymore. I didn't relate to the conversations. I don't have the desire to gossip. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you try and shift it off of gossip, and then it's like there's crickets at the table. Everyone's bored and like everyone's uncomfortable now because you're like, oh, I kind of like don't want to talk about that person. I don't really care. Like, how are you though? Like, how's life? How's everything going? And it's just like, oh, you don't want to gossip? Like, I don't know. The energy might just be off. Like, who you are is different to them. They're used to the hurt version of you, they're used to the crash out version of you. They might even find that entertaining, and they might put you in situations where, that side may come out. And you got to just kind of ask yourself, now that I know better, do I really want to be here still? Can I maintain a friendship with this person if I have to gossip or have to do these things to like fit in? Right? You're going to outgrow a lot of things. So a lot of the things that used to like excite you, like maybe you were like a club girl and now you're like, you know what? You might still love to dance, right? That's one thing that I found. Like, you can get out of the club and go into a salsa, you know, or like I don't know, go to a dance class or something. Like, find ways to still dance and, outlet, create. I'm all for creative expression, but like, You might not want to go to the club anymore. You might not want to be out late night. You might just want to cuddle it up with a book and a cup of tea, and that makes you feel good and warm. And that's okay. Like, life is constantly go, 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 and people are always demanding things from us, from our job, from our life, from our family. It's okay to like retreat and hold on to things that, serve you a little bit better, I'll say. Um, Moving from friendships to family, you may have boundaries, and you having boundaries that you didn't have before with people is going to make them uncomfortable. And I don't remember where I heard it. I feel like it was on a podcast. I don't remember which one, but they explained boundaries as like, it's not a guard to keep you out. It's a guard to say, hey, I want you in my life. If you're going to be in my life, though, however, I need this from you. This is a boundary of mine. This is a line that you cannot cross. And a lot of the times when they cross it and you allow it, and then you kind of go through that back and forth, and then you have to forgive people and all these things, like they're kind of reoffending. And it's like, that's just going to complicate your life. So it's like, if people can't respect your boundaries, how long? Oh, my stomach. How long can they stay in your life if they can't respect your boundaries, right? And it's your job to enforce them. Some people benefited from you not having boundaries. You might have been an emotional punching bag for people to stomp all over. That's not acceptable. So if you find that out through therapy, that was something that I found out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been working on everybody else and I haven't been working on myself. I'm so ashamed. Like, and I'm like, you know what? I can't allow myself to do that anymore. I can't be like someone's emotional punch. You can't just, and I think gauging is important too. Like, calling me, a lot of my friendships have ended because I'm just the person who people call on, like, oh my God, I'm having a horrible week. And it's like, then they'll go celebrate a birthday and I'm not invited. And it's like, why am I only getting like the hard stuff? Why can't I be there when there's like a celebration? Am I just like the vent friend? So it's like, people benefit from you not having boundaries. And it's just, I don't know, you kind of see things a little bit differently. It's really strange, life after therapy, but it's peaceful. It's so peaceful. It's so peaceful. Being in a place where your boundaries are not respected, or you can't really relate to some of the things that your friends are talking about, it's gonna make you feel out of place. I feel very out of place. I feel very out of place in a lot of environments that I used to love. I used to love being around these people. I used to love going to this place, and I just don't feel, I feel very out of place there now, because I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this, and I don't actually want to be here, and I would rather be home where there's peace. And that's another thing. Your priorities, like, you're going to prioritize peace, you're going to prioritize purpose, you're going to prioritize the things that really matter to you, right? The things that are on your path that God wants you to lock in on. You can't do that if you want to be your old self, right? Getting baptized, becoming reborn, a lot of the things that I'm experiencing now is like due to the decision of me getting baptized years ago. I was like, oh, I got baptized, but I didn't fully like surrender. And that was, that was a word that was in my ear all 2023. Surrender, 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 surrender. And I'm like, surrender what? If you watch my new age video, I literally talked about it. And this happened after I got baptized. And I was like, oh, I didn't, like, I feel like I actually had to like get rid of the old crystal and like create a new one. Create a new one that's not rooted in generational, traumas and patterns, and relearning life, reparenting my inner child. And it's different this time around because I have God on my side. And it's crazy to say that, because it's like I've always had God on my side. It's just opening up my heart, like, okay, Jesus, come in. Jesus, take the wheel, because I'm about to crash out. That's literally that was literally me before therapy. Thank God for God. Thank God for God. Now that I talked about some of the losses, I also wanted to talk about some of the gains. You're going to gain peace. You're going to gain purpose. Without drama in your life, you're going to gain clarity. You're going to get rid of distraction. There's so many things that you gain when you go to therapy. You learn how to communicate better. You learn how to think before you speak. You learn how to do so many things that the Bible talks about. And let's be honest, I still have trouble reading the Bible. Sometimes I open it and I open at the end of the day when I should have opened it at the beginning of the day, and I'm like, I literally fall asleep. I'm like, no, this is like warfare. How am I falling asleep? I've been up for hours. Couldn't sleep. The second I open my Bible, I'm tired. But yes, peace is going to feel very normal in your life, and you're going to prioritize it, and you're going to gain clarity. You're going to have your decisions rooted in wisdom and not wounds. That is so powerful, because the one thing that God is not in control of is our free will. God gave that to us. It is a blessing. It can serve you as a blessing or a curse. If you choose right and you're obedient to God, you're going to gain so much wisdom, and your path is going to be easier. Well, hold on. Hold on, cuz warfare is real, and the closer that you get to God, the more the devil wants to tear you down. We know this, but the truth is, when you're obedient, like God, that's all God wants from you is obedience. And you're going to gain that clarity, and you're going to get your decisions feeling much more confident. And when you can't make decisions, I always say this, when you can't make decisions, the decision is made for you. Once calm replaces chaos, you're going to find your self-respect rising to levels that you've never seen before. It's going to be rooted in who you are, especially if you're a Christian. Like, really walk behind that, because there's so much power in God's love for you and God's path for you and your destiny. Girl, you don't even know. You're able to value yourself without guilt. And the one thing that I've realized is, when you value yourself and you hold yourself to a high standard, you're going to start building new connections that are like dream friendships, dream dates that you're going to go on. And that's the key. I feel like when you're in that like low frequency, you're not really able to like attract anything higher. And it's like, when you see people who are succeeding, or you're seeing people who that's another thing, you're gonna find joy in like the tiniest little things. You're gonna have like babies, dogs running up to you. You're gonna have like a butterfly land on your leg. You're gonna be like, wow, life is so beautiful. That stuff that's been happening. I literally have a dove that, if I go for my morning walk, if I go for my morning walk, if I take King out, if I go for my morning bike ride, that dove is literally following me en route. It's literally following me. The dove was building, I have videos of it. The dove was building its nest on my bathroom window. Like, God just God just shows you how beautiful the world can be. And I listed earlier and talked about some of the family and friends. And to be honest, you sometimes people offend so deeply that you have no choice but to cut them off. I'm the worst person to stay connected, because I say forgive, like always forgive. That's my problem. I forgive in like 5 minutes, but the problem is, if I let them back in, 9 times out of 10, they reoffend. So with me, I think that sometimes you get to a point with a relationship, you just have to pray for that person. And that is your relationship. When you say love people from afar, that's what that looks like. You pray for them, you wish them well, you don't gossip about them. When someone says, oh, so like, have you talked to this person? Have you guys talked that issue out? Actually, that's none of your business. And I pray for them. That's it. That's how you shut down gossip. You say, where's this conversation going? Who is this conversation serving? What's the point of you asking me that? What's the benefit of us talking about this right now? You know how powerful it is to say, you know what, actually, I don't want to talk. I'm not comfortable talking to you about that. Those are not the type of energy. That's not the type of energy you need to be around. And you pray for that person too. Because people don't know the effects of gossip. I have gossiped before in my life. The effects, I've heard someone gossip about me and they didn't know that I've literally heard myself being gossiped about. It is a horrible feeling. I don't care how much people want to say, oh, I don't care what people say about me. And to be honest, I used to be that person. And for the most part, I don't. But it's a different situation when you hear how people that you loved and trusted actually think and feel about you, that don't love and trust you the way that you want them to. It's very hurtful, and people don't understand the spiritual implications of gossip, and you just don't need to be around that. I'm in a different place now where I'm literally attracting and going to just the randomest events, and people are inviting me out, and these people have put money in my pockets, like more than some of my own friends have when I started my business. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you'll meet new people that will be writing out for you harder than people that you knew in like childhood years. I had like just a vulnerable moment. I had two like 15-year, I'm only 30, two 15-year friendships end because I decided to heal myself. And maybe it's not even because of that. Maybe they were not my friend to begin with, right? Two, one, yeah, 15 years old. Two 15-year friends, and it was over like, now that it's said and done, it was over the one. I can't say one because it had been a buildup of things that I had let go, let go, let go. But it literally takes one minor infraction, one disagreement for them to completely turn on you and to completely become nasty and talk about you badly and do all of those things. Before, I would have dragged some people through the dirt. Yo! Before, Healed Crystal would have dragged these stitches through the dirt. I could listen, my mouth is like a viper. I could have cursed these girls out and said some very poisonous things. And instead of all that, I prayed for them. And if we really want to get into it, people closer, their blood ties, their blood family has come to me and was like, yo, that was crazy what they did to you. That's the thing. When you're a good person, you'll always find out the truth. You'll always find out how people truly feel about you, whether they do it themselves or you hear it through someone else and you're like, oh, I knew I wasn't crazy when that happened. That's the truth. I thank God. I thank God for it, because them out of my life, and it hurt. Yo, sometimes losing a female friendship 9 times out of 10 is worse than like a romantic relationship. No lie. Losing a homegirl is like, nobody talks about that hurt. But I went through it. I'm here to talk about it because I've already been through it. And all you can do is pray for them from afar. That's what true love from a distance looks like. And you never know what the future might hold. Maybe it was a huge infraction where you can't recover from it and you just wish them well. And you guys, forgiveness doesn't mean reconnection. Forgiveness just means to release like all of the emotions associated with them and the situation. Cool. But yeah, you're not going to be able to sit there and like even watch like toxic shows. It's so fascinating. Like, I'm fascinated with the person that I've become. I'm fascinated when I talk to other healed people. I'm shocked 9 times out of 10. I'm like, you went through that. And like, somebody will, open up to me and tell me something crazy that they've been through. And I'm like, wow, like, and you still like overcame. The Bible talks about becoming an overcomer and exactly how to do it. It's so interesting. Like, yo, the Bible is really the key to all of this, man. This crazy life stuff. But yes, this is my plea to you. Go to therapy. It is so worth it. I feel like the people who don't go to therapy tell the people who are thinking about going to therapy, like, oh, you're crazy. Like, people think, this society thinks that crazy people go to therapy. That used to be the stigma, and thank God it's changing. It used to be that, only crazy people go to therapy. But you actually go crazy when you don't go to therapy. Like, let's clock that tea. Because people just walking around unhealed, hurt people. We already know this. So I'm just here to tell you, life after therapy, it's different, but it's beautiful. It's positive and peaceful. It's not rooted in chaos. And that's the thing about life. Stuff is going to be happening all around you. Stuff is going to be happening in you as well. But there's an unexplainable peace. It's almost like you could go through an earthquake and you're just like, okay, but like my foundation is God though. And you're literally fine. But that's my plea. Go to therapy, take the step. If you have any questions and you want me to help you maybe find someone that's like certified to talk to, just reach out, leave a comment. Let me know how this made you feel. I hope this made you feel confident to take that step. If you're thinking about taking that step, maybe you need to go back to therapy, or maybe you have all of the tools from therapy and you're still kind of working in, in different environments and figuring out how to use those tools. I wish you well. I wish you healing. I wish you love. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.